It's something I face a lot when doing oral history as well. Recollections of nostalgia or lament are very widely found. And where there is space in language to be found for these kind of nostalgic recollections, where there is a loss of the Edenic village or the Edenic city, and wealth is taken and people are removed to the state of being paupers, there is space in language for this. But everything else is quite difficult. To even touch on the brutality of violence or to look at something critically is quite difficult.
Yeah.
Because no story is one-dimensional. Though it may have been in a very one-dimensional way, like हम तो सब छोड़ के आ गए, हमारे पास कुछ नहीं था, हम यहाँ पे आए, started a bit, from scratch, and then we built this big empire. That's a one-dimensional narrative, but there is so much more. There is so much more nuance to these life stories where, and it's very evident when you speak to survivors that it's very hard to tell a one-dimensional narrative, because you may say, okay, they came and they burnt our houses and they looted, but then you will also say, yes, but they who were from our village helped us. The Hindu helped us, or the Muslim helped us, or the Sikh gave us space to hide in their room. So it's very complicated. Relationships at that time were very complicated, and there is a danger in homogenizing the story of partition to one narrative of displacement, of violence particularly. It's very, very dangerous. This is why you need the multiple voices. And this is why oral history comes with its own shortcomings of whether or not you can. This is a question I get a lot. Can you trust what people are remembering?
Of course.
But it is its subjectivity that is its strength. The fact that it allows you so many multitudes of human narratives of partition, that is the strength of oral history, that allows people to speak for themselves in their own voices.
Yeah. Because, what is the alternative? They're not going to be in the official history books. They're not, these sort of stories aren't considered generally before this change in what you were mentioning earlier in the curriculum. Generally, all histories are told from such an extreme, high viewpoint, such a macro level. Churchill साहब ने ये कहा और फिर हिटलर ने ये सोचा और फिर नेहरू said this and then कायदे आज़म को टीबी हो गया या whatever. And there's I feel this is again something that I am forced to consider when because of my nonchalant, as it is stated, mentality. People are unable to see the wider picture, but that is not a failing of theirs, because there is so much happening in their immediate life that it is easy to feel like, how do I take a step back from all this madness that's happening in my life to consider कि नहीं ये भी हो सकता है वो भी हो सकता है. By the time you get to that stage, सब हो चुका है. Right.
Yeah, and I think it was actually impossible for people at that time to consider what was happening outside their immediate circle. They really, literally did not have the means to do it. I mean, phone nahi tha, internet nahi tha.
Yeah.
कई देर तक तो आपको पता ही नहीं चलता था कि आपके गांव के बाहर क्या हो रहा है. So to consider that people migrated great lengths without quite understanding what had happened,
what happening.
Why they were migrating, who was doing it, and of course how these official decisions trickle down to the common person. Like most of the people I interviewed had probably never even seen a Firang before. They had seen a sign.
Yeah. Of course, itne the hi. There weren't as many to go around.
लेकिन अपने गांव अपने शहर से आप निकले ही नहीं.
Exactly.